Use a total return approach, and you're probably going to be much better off than just relying on only income and dividends.
Welcome to the Market Call Show, where we discuss what's happening in the markets and the impact on your investments. Tune in every Thursday on Apple Podcast, Google Play, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Welcome to the Market Call Show. This is Llanes. I am the founder of WealthNet Investments. Today we have an interesting topic, and I'm really excited about diving in, so let's get going. Welcome to the Market Call Show. This is Llanes. Today I'm going to talk to you about the right way to generate income from your portfolio. I'm not exactly sure why, but a lot of people want to know if they can live off of their dividends and interest only from their portfolio. Take a listen, and I'll discuss what we think is the right way to generate income from your portfolio. So here's the typical question we get asked. How do I invest in a portfolio of high-income securities? Although spending interest and dividends alone sounds like a reasonable way to protect your principal, in reality, it could be harmful to your wealth. To create the income needed, an investor must search for securities that pay higher dividends and interest. Doesn't that sound good? There's only a few problems here. If you screen all the publicly traded investments to include only those with the highest paying income, you will have a list of companies concentrated in certain industries, typically oil and gas, telecommunications, real estate, and financial groups. This concentration increases your sector risk, which leaves your portfolio vulnerable to sharp declines when those industries run into hard times. Another problem is that stocks that pay higher dividends tend to grow at a much slower pace than the overall market. Why is this? Because companies that pay out high dividends to investors tend to be in mature, slow-growing industries with a limited number of new investment projects that might increase their future growth. Does it really make sense to concentrate investments in slow growers?
If you worry about your investments, need to make complex financial decisions, or pay unnecessary taxes, the lack of proper financial planning and investing may already be costing you a great deal. When you are ready to turn your peace of wealth into peace of mind, go to wealthnetinvest.com and click on the Schedule a Call button to talk to us and get a free consultation today.
Let's switch gears here to bonds. Why not focus on those bonds that pay higher interest? Well, in order to get that high income from bonds, you need to invest in more issuers with low credit quality ratings. What does that mean to you? These issuers have a higher chance of missing interest payments and principal payments in the future, especially if the economy gets weakened. As a result, prices are more volatile in these bonds, and they perform a lot like stocks. Second, investors have to buy bonds with longer-term maturities to get that higher income. This subjects the investor into interest rate and duration risk because the investment's price moves a lot more because they're sensitive to changes in market interest rates. So longer-term bonds will fall much more rapidly than short-term bonds if interest rates rise. So why would you do that? Considering this information, you might be wondering, if an income-only strategy is not ideal, then what is a better way to generate lifetime income? I recommend a total return approach. This strategy incorporates all sources of returns, including capital gains, dividends, and interest, as opposed to relying only on interest and dividends for income. Studies have shown that investors achieve better returns, more diversification, and a lower tax bill as a result of a total return approach. A total return portfolio is constructed by diversifying across distinct types of assets that have very few overlapping fundamentals. I also advise investors to diversify among different styles within each type of asset. You might want to consider also adding absolute return styles to your mix, which could also reduce risk. So there you have it. That's how I recommend getting income from your portfolio. Use a total return approach, and you're probably going to be much better off than just relying on only income and dividends. Think of it kind of like a rental property. When you invest in a rental property, you generally have an income stream, but you also have appreciation from that rental property. And over time, your income can grow. That's the same idea when you think about investing in other types of assets like stocks and bonds. By the way, consider taking a look at Financial Freedom Blueprint, my new book, 7 Steps to Accelerate Your Path to Prosperity. You can go to pathtorealwealth.com and pick yourself up a copy. And if you want to get a hard cover of this and you want to get it signed by me, just shoot us an email at info@wealthnetinvest.com and we'll give you the particulars to get that out to you. Well, that's all for now, and we will talk to you later. Have a great day.
For the latest episode of The Market Call Show, make sure to like, subscribe, and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Go to marketcallshow.com for all our past episodes and sign up to get alerts for new episodes. If you enjoyed the content of this episode, please leave us a 5-star review and comments. The information in this podcast is informational and general in nature and does not take into consideration the listener's personal circumstances. Therefore, it is not intended to be a substitute for specific, individualized financial, legal, or tax advice. To determine which strategies or investments may be suitable for you, consult the appropriate qualified professional prior to making a final decision. WealthNet Investments is a registered investment advisor. Advisory services are only offered to clients or prospective clients where WealthNet Investments and its representatives are properly licensed or exempt from licensure.